Chag Sameach, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're glad to have you with us by video recording. And actually, it's Thursday late afternoon, which is technically and officially the beginning of Shavuot. But we're imagining that this is actually tomorrow night, which is the second night of Shavuot. And so we'll be including Shabbat editions in this service as well. Shavuot, the festival of remembering the giving of the Torah. And also, please note that we have had problems the past couple of weeks with live streaming, and that's why we're videoing this early to make sure everyone gets it. You'll be getting the link. Hopefully you've gotten it already. Obviously, you wouldn't have heard me if you didn't get it. And but we are going to be working on our Wi-Fi here. That was the reason that we had problems with live streaming. And I believe tomorrow Comcast is coming, and hopefully get the system up and working so we can live stream and be more effective in the future. More announcements later, but we're now going to begin with Hadlakat Nerot, with the lighting and blessing of the Shabbat and festival candles. Cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat v'shel Yom Tov.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו הזמן הזה.
Kiddush is a festival Kiddush because, again, this is Shabbat and Shavuot. And if you're following along, I don't know if I'll have this page in Siddur, I'll mention them anyway, which is 386 Kiddush for Shabbat and festivals.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'am v'romemanu mikol lashon v'kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'atiten lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava Shabbatot limnucha u'moadim l'simcha Chagim uzmanim lesason et yom hashabat hazeh v'et yom chag hashavuot hazeh zman matan toratenu mikra kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki banu bacharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat u'moadei kodshecha B'ahava u'ratzon, b'simcha u'b'sason hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha'shabbat v'Yisrael v'hazmanim. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'achiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Amen. And now, since this is festival leading into Shabbat on Friday Eve, we do not include L'chadodi. L'chadodi and the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat are included as a transition between every day, between weekday and holy Shabbat. But since we're on Friday evening transitioning from holy of the festival to Shabbat, we just start with the Psalm for Shabbat, Mizmor Shir L'Yom Shabbat, And hopefully we all remember the attitude of gratitude in the psalm, that we're thinking back on the past week and all the blessings and positive things and things for which we must give thanks with all the challenges that we face. Tov lahodot Adonai. And Cantor will conclude the psalm with Tzadik Katamar. The righteous are like the date palm, being fruitful and multiplying.
Tzadik Katamar yifrach, ke'eretz Lebanon yizkeh, shetulim bebeit Adonai, v'chatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu. Oh, yirkum b'seba, d'shenim v'rananim yilhiu. Yahid v'yashar Adonai, tzuri lo adataro.
If you're following along, if you would be, in the Siddur, it's 394, and we turn to Baruch Hu as we gather together formally as a community now, this praise of God, and direct our hearts towards Yerushalayim, towards Jerusalem. We praise God for the gift of creation with the first blessing, surrounding Shema. Praise are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness away from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMa'ariv Arabim. Ahavat Olam, and we're going to offer that in the Hebrew as Cantor and Gary, her accompanimists, continue. Ahavat Olam, God's eternal love through Torah. Kriyat Shema, together we proclaim wherever we may be, but our voices will be as one. Kriyat Shema, page 394. Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם Adonai Elohechem, Amen.
We continue with the first bracha following Shema and Ve'ahavta. Mi chamocha ve'elim Adonai. We praise God who redeems our people. And there is a connection between Shavuot, of course, and Pesach. We begin counting the days of the Omer, connecting Pesach and Shavuot. Without physical freedom, then we would not be able to stand before God at Mount Sinai to accept the Torah, to become partners with God in the Brit. So indeed, this physical redemption that we recall here was a critical part of leading to Shavuot itself. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. We praise you, God, as the Redeemer of our people Israel. Hashkivenu, alas to the blessings that surround Shema, We ask for God's protection at night from all things that threaten, and Dever is part of this, which of course is plague, is affliction, disease. So in ancient times, this has been part of our lives, and so we see in modern times as well, a reminder of our humility in the face of some of the challenges that nature presents us. But we hope for God's protection, which is not necessarily to mean that God will prevent all harm from coming up to us, but our hope is that God will always be with us in confronting our fears and giving us hope. Hashkivein. Baruch atah Adonai porei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Amen. We continue now with the festival Amidah, and if you like the page, I'll give it to you, 468. 468. And again, we stand. If you're able to stand, or at least sit a little high in your seat, that would be good. As we stand most directly before God, Adonai Sabbatai Tiftach. God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Adonai Sabbatai Tiftach. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayat kol atah, Rav le'oshia. Mechakel chayim b'chesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato b'shelei Avraham. Mi chamocha ve'al gevuro, umidomero. Melech Megid, Mechayeh, Umatzliach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata le'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol.
This being a festival and Shabbat, we continue with an English reading on page 481, and I will lead us. Many generations later, redeemed from slavery, Abraham and Sarah's descendants stood at Mount Sinai. The ancient promise was to be confirmed, the ancient mandate reasserted and enlarged, the ancient covenant renewed and sealed to bind all future generations. When God revealed the Torah, no bird chirped, no fowl beat its wings, no ox bellowed, the angels did not sing, the sea did not stir, no creature uttered a sound. The world was silent and still, and the divine voice spoke, I, the Eternal, am your God. Zachrenu Adonai Eloheinu bo l'tova, amen. Ufakdenu bo livracha, amen. Hoshienu bo l'chaim, amen. This day, God, this Zman Matan Toratenu, this time of the giving of the Torah, and Shabbat, remember us for well-being, amen. This day, bless us with your nearness, amen. This day, help us to a fuller life, amen. Now we turn to Oseh Shalom as we conclude the Amidah, page 492.
Oseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Yisrael, Ve'imru Elohim, Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Yisrael, Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'Amu Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'Amu Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'Amu Yisrael.
Amen. And now we continue with Seder Hotza'at Torah, the Torah service, and that can be found on page 494. And we begin Ki Mitzion.
For the festival, we have an extra prayer in there, the Adonai Adonai. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Echadu, Erech HaChaim, Berachasem Emet, Noser Chesed La'olafim, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Okay, this being Shavuot, we're going to have a reading of the Ten Commandments, the Aseret HaDibrot, as they're known in Hebrew, the 10 utterances or sayings. And so we had a lively discussion actually earlier today on our Zoom Torah study, Tikkun Leil Shavuot, the Shavuot study of Jewish text before the holiday itself, traditionally done at night. And again, we focused on the Aseret HaDibrot, and I will now read them to you in the original. Baruch hu et Adonai Hamborach, Baruch Adonai Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. Anochi Adonai Elohecha Asher Hotzeticha Eretz Mitzrayim Mibeit Avadim Lo Yeh Lecha Elohim Acherim Al Panai Lo Ta'aseh Lecha Vesel Kol Temuna Asher Bashamayim Mima'al V'asher Ba'aretz Mitachat V'asher B'mayim Mitachal Ha'aretz Lo Tishtachaveh Lahem V'lo Ta'abdeim Ki Anochi Adonai Elohecha Elkana Okei Avon Avot Al Banim V'al Shleshim V'al Reve'im L'sonai V'oseh Chesed La'alafim Lo Avai Uz L'shomrei Mitzvotai Lo Tisa Et Shem Elohecha L'shav Ki Lo Yinakeh Adonai Et Asher Yisak Shemo L'shav. Thus we have the first three traditional dibrot or commandments. The first, which God states, God is the God who brought us out of the land of Egypt to be our God. And then the second, about not having any other gods, and including as well the prohibition on idol worship, and then engraven images. And the third commandment of not taking God's name in vain. Now we continue with the fourth commandment of Shabbat. Shamor et yom Shabbat lekodsho kasher tzivcha Adonai Elohecha sheshit yamim ta'avod v'asita kol melachtecha v'yom hashvi'i Shabbat Adonai Elohecha lo ta'aseh kol melacha ata uvincha uvitecha v'avdecha v'amatecha v'shorcha v'chamorcha v'chol bechemtecha v'gercha asher b'sharecha leman yanuach avdecha v'amatcha kamocha v'zacharta ki eved hayita be'eretz Mitzrayim v'yotziacha Adonai Elohecha misham biyad chazaka u'bizroa nituya al kein tzivcha Adonai Elohecha lasot et yom ha'Shabbat. The commandment for keeping Shabbat not only for ourselves but for those who work for us, our animals as well, because God brought us out of the land of Egypt, and we therefore owe God this mitzvah of rest. And now the rest of the commandments, 6 through 10, 5 through 10. Kabed et avicha et imecha kasher tzivcha Adonai Elohecha laman yarichun yamecha laman yitablah al adama et Adonai Elohecha notein laha. And now much more brief. This is the sixth commandment. Lo tirtzach, do not murder. Lo tinach, do not commit adultery. V'lo tigno, you shall not steal. V'lo ta'aneh berecha, et shav, do not bear false witness. V'lo tachmod eshet re'echa, v'lo ta'tidabeh bet re'echa. Sadehu v'abdo v'amato shoro v'chamoro v'chol asher le'herecha. Do not covet, do not desire something and seek to gain something which is not yours. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Ata Adonai noten haTorah. And now Mishaberach, a prayer of healing for all those in need of refuah, and certainly during this difficult time of pandemic, we think of all those in our community, in a larger region, and then certainly throughout the country and throughout the world, who have been stricken by COVID-19, and certainly those who are hospitalized and very ill. We hope and pray for their healing. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah. U'yivarech v'yirapeh kol hacholim b'kidlateinu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yimaleh rachamim aleihem lahachlimam v'rachotam v'lahachzikam v'shlach lehem mehera refuah shlema min hashamayim refuah lenefesh refuah leguf kashtam v'galav izman kariv v'nomar amen. Amen. We hope and pray for healing of all those we hold dear at this time. And at this time, we're now going to return the Sefer Torah to the Ark as we turn to Eitz Chaim Chi, page 514.
It's Chaim
Hashivenu, return our days to the days of old. Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem, renew our days as the days before us. Those words really have new meaning to me at this time. Those words were taken from actually ancient texts about the destruction of Jerusalem from Lamentations, and the hope was to return to a time, a better time. And again, I guess having grown up at a time when all seemed to be moving forward, upward, I didn't know what it meant to return to those old days, but I think we ourselves can certainly feel that in our lives, and what it means to Hashivenu, to ask God to return us to where we were before, but Chadesh Yameinu, to renew, to not only go back, but to make it better, to go back to where we were, to have you all gathered in the sanctuary, to celebrate together, to bless the Torah together, to learn Torah together, but chadesh, to make it new and better. And that is the promise, the hope that we try to keep alive. And words that are given new meaning as we go through life and face new challenges. So a quick few thoughts about Shavuot, and I'd like to begin with a question. Who wrote the Book of Love? Well, that was a 50s song. Some of you may remember it. I had to look it up on the internet. It was sung by the Monotones. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, ding, ding, ding. That's who wrote those great lines, who wrote the Book of Love. It certainly raises a good question, though. Who wrote the Book of Love? You would think it would be the Italians. Those are good lovers, right? Italians. Or the French, for sure. They know the Book of Love. But no, believe it or not, the Jews wrote the Book of Love. Yes, indeed. How do we know this? We know this because of Shavuot. Shavuot, in fact, comes to teach us this important lesson. The Jews, yes, wrote the Book of Love with more than a little help from God. For our tradition compares the giving of the Torah at Sinai to a wedding with God, the groom, and his people, the bride, two partners in holy matrimony. And just as marriages legally affected the Jewish tradition by the bride's simple choice to accept the wedding ring or other gift the groom offers, so did the Jewish people at Mount Sinai create its eternal bond with the Creator by accepting God's gift of gifts, the Torah, to them. Our book of love, then, is the Torah, and the lovers in the book are God and the people of Israel. And the ultimate expression of that love is the marriage between God and the people Israel, which took place at Mount Sinai. So if marriage was at Sinai and Shavuot is the day on which we recall the events of Mount Sinai, then today is in effect our anniversary. So happy anniversary, Jewish people. And anniversaries certainly are good days to reflect on the nature of our love. That's what I would like to do for a brief moment this evening. Reflect on the nature of our love. What is the love between God and the Jewish people? First, our love is, as all good love should be, exclusive. Our sages tell us that when they cite the verse from Song of Songs, I am my beloved's and my beloved is mine, Ani l'dodi v'dodi li, that is to describe the relationship between God and the people of Israel. God could have chosen others, but God chose us, and we in turn chose God alone. That is the meaning of the Shema. Not only is God one, but God alone. Echad, only for us. And that is the only one for us. And as a matter of fact, that always brings to mind that 70s song, You're Still the One by Orleans. That's the sense. You're the only one for me. A little more contemporary allusion to music, but still 40 years old, folks. We need to get some younger people here. Okay. Secondly, first, our love is exclusive. Second, our love is affirmed publicly, and we are bound by public declarations of mutual responsibility. This is no private affair. There's no eloping between God and the Jewish people. This is a love declared before the entire world, and a love of deeds, not just promises. It is certainly easy to whisper sweet nothings, which are just that, nothing. True love, a lesson we all need to be reminded of, true love is expressed through deeds and not mere words. True love involves an undying commitment to one another, commitment to which we are accountable. Third, the nature of our love, and perhaps most important, our love is strong and undying. Quoting again the Song of Songs, many waters cannot quench love. The rabbis declare if all the idolatrous nations of the world were to unite to destroy the love between God and the people Israel, they would be unable to do so. In our Siddur, in the evening prayers each night, we declare, Ahavat Olam, your love, God, is eternal. Your love for the people Israel is eternal. And isn't that, after all, what all of us want most of all? To be loved forever, to be loved eternally. To know that no matter what, the love of our partner will never be extinguished. Love that is exclusive, love that is publicly declared and bound by mutual deeds of affection, and love that is strong and undying, that is the content of the Jewish book of love. That is the content of our Torah. And of course, as in any love story, there is always disappointment and pain and struggle. But in the end, there is the bonds of affection that will never die. And my friends, the love that is possible between God and the people of Israel is also the love that is possible between us and if we're lucky enough to have a loving partner. Shavuot is a reminder of the hope for all of us, not only as Jews in relationship to God, but as partners in enduring relationships. So often we despair, and so often we fall short in our relationships that count most. Let this Shavuot be a time to renew our love for one another and to always strive to make our love the true love we recall on Shavuot. So happy anniversary, everybody. And now we're going to continue in our service as we turn to Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 586. We now turn to remember our loved ones who have gone the way of the world on the anniversary of their deaths. Also, we have a very painful mark that we've reached in our country, 100,000 deaths from COVID-19, and so many wonderful human beings that have been taken from us by this terrible disease. And so we recall them tonight, and we hope and pray that their relatives will find comfort and consolation. And also we turn to actually some of the Yortzeiten that we unfortunately left out last week. So I'd like to pick up with some of the Yortzeiten from last week, some of the anniversaries that we recall. So I apologize for not mentioning these following names last week. Jean Glader, mother of Priscilla Shore; Celia Goldstein, grandmother of Marty Skogard; Rose Lieberman, grandmother of Dee Andrews; Etta Pollack, remembered by the JCV; Louis Rosenzweig, father of Gloria Sussman; Roberta Sandberg, sister-in-law of Priscilla Shore; Lillian Schlossberg, mother-in-law of Priscilla Shore; Ethel Sharkowitz, mother of Lillian Marion; Ken Swartz, husband of Barbara Swartz; and Gertrude Young, mother of Robert Young. And we recall additional names. These are loved ones whose Yortzeit were over this past week. Esther Chase, remember of the JCB; William Green, uncle of Vicki Solomon; and Ruth Wetzler Merifel, mother of Peter Constant. Now, all those that are in mourning or observing a Yortzeit, you're welcome to stand or sit high in your seat for the mourner's Kaddish. And just again, a reminder, we will leave out Yehei Shmei Rabbah, the communal response, and save that for when we gather together again physically here in the sanctuary. Yit Gadal, the Yit Gadash, Shemei Rabbah, Yom Ma Divra Gerute, Yom Lich Malchute, B'chaye Chon, Yom Lechon, B'chaye Defol Beit Yisrael, B'galav Yizman Karev Imru, Amen. Yit Barach, B'yishtabach, B'yitba'ar, B'yitraman, B'yitnaseh, B'yitadar, B'yitaleh, B'yitalal, Shmei Kudeshav Rechu, Ve'ela Min Kol Berchata V'shirata, Tush B'chata V'nechemata, Da'amiran V'yama B'imru, Amen. Yehei Shalom Rabami Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'imromav, V'yaseh Shalom, Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'imru, Amen. And pardon me, before we conclude, just a few announcements. One, again, I may have mentioned this earlier, but it's important to repeat. We will have a Yizkor service via Zoom. There was a reminder sent out already and a link. And again, it's 10 o'clock this Saturday morning for some Shavuot prayers as well as Yizkor, which is done all traditionally on the second day of Shavuot, which will be Shabbat. Also, we are working on a Havdalah service, a drive-in Havdalah service, and you'll be getting all the details about how to do that safely, but it will be at least a beginning of an opportunity to be at least near one another, but in our cars. And again, you'll be getting that information sometime next week and about that, and that will be another week or two into June. All the details will come out next week. Cantor, do you have any other announcements?
I guess just to remind the ladies that this coming Tuesday is Coffee Klatch, so it's open for any woman in the JCB, and we would love to have you join us. We just chat and fetch and go off on interesting topics usually. So the link is in the update that you should be getting on Sunday, so look for that.
Right. And again, just to repeat though, I do my schmooze at 11:30, a weekly schmooze, similar to what the Cantor does. So I usually begin with some type of word of wisdom from our tradition. That's 11:30 on Mondays, and also Torah study every week, Thursdays at 2. So we're going to conclude, since it is Shavuot, and on the Shalosh Regalim, the 3 pilgrimage festivals, we always do a bit from Hallel, the songs of joy from Hallel. We'll conclude.
So we'll just do 4 lines from Psalm 118, and I will start each line and you will finish each line. This is familiar to those of you who were around for Simchas Torah. We sing the Hodu Ladonai, and then your response is Ki Leolam Chasdo. God's love is eternal. All right, here we go. You'll pick up on it quickly. Hodu Ladonai Kito, Ki Leolam Chasdo, Yomar na Yisrael, Ki Leolam Chasdo, Yomru Navit Aharon, Ki Leolam Chasdo, Yomru Na Yireh Adonai, Ki Leolam Chasdo.
And we'll conclude with Birkat Kohanim, offering this special blessing to everyone.
Yivarechecha Adonai, v'yishmerecha. Amen.
Amen. May the Lord bless you all and guard you, all of us together.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. Amen.
May God cause God's face to shine upon all of us and be gracious to us.
Yis Adonai panav elecha. Shalom.
show us all kindness, and grant us God's most precious blessing of shalom, of peace and contentment in our lives. Shabbat shalom and Chag Sameach, a happy holiday to everyone.
Shabbat shalom.